Hi, I'm Melissa. Thank you for joining me for this Chaturanga tutorial. I wanted to take some time and provide this tutorial so that we can all practice Chaturanga a little more safely. There's a lot of harm we can do to our bodies if we don't practice this pose safely. And it's a pose that you see often in yoga, especially in vinyasa classes, and it's repeated several times. And it takes a lot of upper body strength, and we can often cause injury to the rotator cuffs if we are not careful. So I hope that you find this helpful. I'm going to start by showing you a couple modifications and different variations of Chaturanga that you can practice instead of the full Chaturanga. So just know that that is always available to you. Any teacher should tell you that you can modify anytime if full Chaturanga does not feel comfortable in your body. Okay, so I'm just going to start here on my hands and knees. And for this tutorial, I'm not really warming us up. So I hope before you practice any of this that you will warm up your shoulders and your core a little bit. Okay, so generally we come into Chaturanga from a plank position. So you want to make sure that your shoulders are stacked over your wrists and your fingers are spread wide. Feet should be hip width apart. We want to engage the core, wrap the shoulder blades onto the back. And then from here, our first modification is just knees, chest, chin. So you can drop the knees and then lower the chest and the chin to the floor. So the elbows hug the body tightly. The booty stays in the air for a moment. The chest falls kind of right between the thumbs. And then you can untuck the toes and come into your cobra or maybe your up dog pose. Okay. Another modification I like to do is just plank from the knees. And if you're on a hard floor, this might be better practiced with a blanket underneath you. But if you come into this plank on the knees so that your shoulders and your hips and your knees are more or less aligned, and then draw the heels in towards the glutes. Okay. And then just as if you were on your feet, you're going to bend the elbows straight back, keep them close to the body, and lower your chest down. Now, you don't want to drop the shoulders below the elbows. So a lot of times when I see something like this, the shoulders don't forward, okay? So you want to keep the shoulder blades wrapped onto the back, keep the core strong, lower down, trying to keep the elbows right above the wrists. And then from here, you can come into your up dog, okay? If you're coming all the way down to the ground, lower the hips and then come down so that the shoulders aren't dipping ahead of the wrists or ahead of the elbows, okay? So that brings us to the full version, and then I'll show you some ways that you can practice with the use of props, okay? So again, the idea is that when you come down, you want to have this right angle at the elbows. Don't let the shoulders round or dip down below the elbows, okay? So you're only coming down about halfway, and then you'll draw the heart forward for cobra or up dog, okay? So from your plank position, nice and strong through the core, if you just shift forward slightly, that allows you to keep the elbows stacked over the wrists, okay? So then elbows bend straight back, hug the body, lower down halfway, and then draw the heart forward up to up dog. So again, some of the other versions of this that I see that are not safe is, of course, that dumping of the shoulders, like I said, or sometimes the elbows splay outward, and that can be a lot of strain on the wrists. Okay, so now let me show you how to use your blocks to practice coming into Chaturanga a little more safely. So I'm going to place blocks towards the top of my mat at the tall height, about shoulder width apart. okay? And then I'm gonna bring my hands in front of those blocks. So there might be an inch or two from my wrist to the blocks, but they're pretty close, okay? I'm gonna come into my plank from here. Now, if I'm letting the elbows go back instead of keeping the elbows over the wrists, when I lower down, blocks fall. So what we want to do is keep those blocks up. So that's where shifting forward a little bit here in the feet, and then you bend the elbows, and your torso should rest on top of the blocks when you get about halfway. And then, of course, you can open to up dog, okay? Another useful prop for practicing chaturanga is a strap. So if you have a strap with a buckle, you want to make a loop, okay? And you might have to play around a little bit to get the loop the right size, but basically what we're going for is we want to have the elbows hugging the body here and that strap coming right across the low ribs. You want the buckle to be in the front so it's not pressing against your skin anywhere, okay? So again, sometimes it takes a little time and adjusting to find that right width, okay? So you don't want the elbows hugging into the body or too far out. You want to just hug the elbows again with that strap coming down at the low ribs. So from here, I'm going to come into my plank. So the strap is nice and taut between my arms, okay? And then, again, I'm going to inhale, shift forward through the feet slightly, bend the elbows straight back. And as I come down halfway with my elbows at a right angle, I can hang out here for quite a while. So that strap is catching me and allowing me to just kind of float here. So I can feel what it feels like to have that alignment without all the effort. And then from here, of course, you can inhale, up dog, and even back to down dog. Okay. Know that you don't have to do any of it. So if you're in a vinyasa class and you're going from, let's say, down dog to plank, okay, you can skip all that. You can either do the modifications or just come straight into down dog. Okay? Yoga is a very personal practice. So do what's right for you, and it can be different from day to day. So check in with your body as often as you can, okay? And if you want to join me, I teach live Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Mountain Time on Zoom, and I have plenty of videos available for free on YouTube, so check it out. Thank you.